Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm going to have to ask you to forgive the noise in the background. My dogs are still playing and I glory in it because it was a bit of a rocky start and my eldest dog didn't seem to appreciate the puppy at all, but they're friends now. Now what I've got in front of me is something that was inspired by Attic Lane, and Attic Lane, I think it might be Deborah, it's an English lady, calls this a journal booklet, which is in effect what it works out to be. And this is the front, this is the back. I've used Antique Paperie or Paperie papers, and it's a digital paper lady, but her prices are absolutely wonderful. And I just had these lying around and thought, now I'm going to, before I start using paper pads or anything like that, I'm going to just use up the papers that I've already printed out. All well and good until the lovely Rose sent me that great big parcel yesterday of papers, but we won't dwell on that because this is what I've utilised for this project, and it is absolutely lovely and a bit on the deceiving side when you look at it. If I just measure for you, this measures 5 3/4, roughly speaking, by 4 1/4, which is a lovely size. And it's only when you look at the sideline view that you think, oh, there's a little bit more going on to this. And when you open it, and all I've used here is some ribbon with some acrylic metal type beads on, which are very effective. You open up the top like so, and you open it again like so, and you end up with this absolutely wonderful little booklet that could serve so many purposes. I'll try and go out a little bit. I'm trying to avoid the angle, as always, of the leg of the tripod, and it is really lovely. This is the lady that also does the little secret paperclip messages that I've utilised in this project as well. Very simple to make and very effective, I think you'll agree. And the main decoration is the tiny little bit of something that you put in the top of the paperclip just to disguise the fact that it is a paperclip. I've not bothered to cover the back of the paperclip because once it's attached it's not seen anyway. A couple of little faceted flat back gems there just for a little bit of bling. I've used absolutely no glitter or glossy accents or anything in this project. It's all just down to the papers. So I've got 2 of the secret messages, one at either end of the little booklet. Then I've made a series of little tags, and they are little, they're I don't know, some are smaller than others, as you can see, but the average size from the top to the bottom is 3 inches by 2 inches, so they're a nice size. You can journal or just use them as ordinary gift tags as you please. And again, that's a shorter one. These are still using the same papers. I think I used 2 A4 sheets of the DSP, which is ideal. I then put in some of this nice little glittery trim that is some kind of baker's twine, but by the time you've actually used it on your project, you can see it kind of fluffs up, separates, and it's just quite pretty. I like it. And they sit in the 2 front pockets here, and then there are 2 more pockets at the back here. So I just put a couple in each one, which was very effective. You then have a rather deep pocket on this side, that goes down. In fact, I think it might go, no, it is, if I measure it properly with the right end of the ruler, which is 5.5 inches in depth. Clearly you wouldn't get a whole mass of stuff in there, but you'd get enough, and that's 5.5 inches on either side. And then on the right hand side here, I just made a tiny little booklet with a little bit of jotting paper in it, which clearly can be more fulsome if that's what you wanted to do. And I've just lined the craft card with the DSP paper just to make it look a little bit more polished. And that's the front cover, and that just slots in the top bit there with the secret message holder. I'll put everything back in together. I put the two in the back here, which fit really nicely. Clearly, if you wanted to put other things in the back there, you're free to do so. This is just my interpretation of a rather lovely make that I thoroughly enjoyed putting together. And Deborah is such a prolific crafter and does such a lot of tutorials. I will leave a link underneath this video so that you can go along and see for yourself how it all works. But it really is. It's time consuming, and you know, you could, if you wanted to, utilize double-sided papers, but I think you lose something in that. At least by adding extra papers to it, you can strengthen and add a little bit more to the overall look of things. Now, these are little tuck spots, these little corner pieces, but I decided not to utilize them because they are tiny, and unless it was for something really small, you're going to actually damage your work, which would be such a shame. But what I wanted to do while I'm here is actually show you how easy it is to do the actual base of the little journal folder. And all you need is a piece of either paper or a lightweight cardstock. You don't want anything that is too heavy, because clearly you've got a lot of folding to do, and you really don't want to damage or weaken your card to the extent that it's no longer viable for the project. So this piece, I've just taken an ordinary piece of the English A4 size copier paper. It is a good one. It's about 120 GSM, something of that nature approximately, and it needs to be 11.5 inches by 8.5. Well, I don't quite have the width there, but I'm not particularly bothered about that. If you want to be true to size, then clearly you would look for 11.5 by 8.5 inches, and there's no measuring per se. You just fold your piece of card or paper long ways, pinch down a corner and pinch down a corner. You don't need a crease right the way across the middle. You then take one side in and fold it up to that crease, and you can at this point just make a hand crease, don't burnish or anything of that nature. And then on the other side you bring that into the center, and again it's gentle stuff, it's not anything too pressurized at this point. What you then do is take down the corner of each corner that you folded in toward the center, like so. They again can be quite forceful crosses, so you end up with that scenario at either end of the fold that you've already done. Now these would be tuck spots if that's how you wanted to use them. It is, as I say, entirely up to you. That's the nature of how this comes together. So having marked the area which is central, you then need some tape, and I do use the red line tape. I like it. I find it's strong, and you don't often get it letting go of where you need it to be. And all you do is go up to the respective corners that you've made by folding back the little corners for your tuck spot. Don't peel the back off the red tape. I've just left mine there. You fold it in again, bring that other side into it and fold it down like so. So what you end up with here is a tube. So, you know, you can see exactly the structure and formation of the base of your little journaling book. What you need to do then, holding these down, is fold that up and over, lining up your edges as nicely and as evenly as you can. Now this crease is quite important, and you can see what I mean. If you used a really strong card, you would have difficulties folding this in half. You would need to take it to your scoreboard to score it in half and make sure that the indent you want is there. But if you use a good quality paper or a lightweight card, perhaps a 120, 130 GSM, you will get a nice formation of your journal. You don't need at this point to worry about the centre, because there are pockets that go there. I've not cut the pockets out, but if I show you what I mean with the one that I've made, this space is, if you take it from the fold down of the flap to the centre, 3 1/4. So what you want there is a pocket that is approximately 3 inches wide, and this would be your largest pocket, and these go up to 3 1/4. So that would be 3 1/4. That would take it up to that height. So you'd cut that out round your corners, and then the smaller pocket here is the same width, but it's by 1 3/4, and they literally layer up on top of one another. It's up to you whether you reinforce them. I did, because I like things to feel strong and very secure, so I just used craft stock, distressed all the edges as you can see, and then layered it up where I wanted it to be. Then you decide which end is going to be your top folding bit, which is this piece here. And what I did was measured from where the join is of the two folds, which is 2 inches, and then I added another 2 3/4 inches. So you want 4 3/4 inches, roughly speaking. It is up to you how you pursue putting it all together and what you want from it. But if I show you there, because the excess then slots in and you glue it into that aperture, and that then gives you your fold, which amounts to the front of your little pocket journal, which is very neat and very tidy. You do need to make sure clearly that you glue this down. You don't have to have a ribbon closure if you don't want one. You could use magnets, you could use the button closures either side and then do your figure of 8 cotton or thread around that to keep it all together. All I've done is use some puffy stickers that are metallic in their look. I don't know if I've got them close. Oh yes. And this is them. I bought them in a packet at my local craft shop, and they are metallic effect embossed little bits and pieces, which I thought would come in rather handy, and they have. And that is how you then anchor down and close up your little pocket journal. I think it's a lovely idea, very, very straightforward to make, and I think it would make a lovely happy mail or friend gift or little presentation to someone that likes to keep little notations of what they're doing, where they're going, birthdays and that kind of thing. It would actually serve very well as that kind of project, but it's all in the eye of whoever receives it, isn't it, at the end of the day. So I hope you found that helpful. If it seems a bit jumbled, then I'll obviously leave the link under the channel to Attic Lane, who does the same thing but goes into a bit more detail with pockets and that kind of thing. And then as a closure to this video, I'd like to offer up this to my regular visible subscribers, please. I don't mind new subscribers as long as they stick around, but I do like to see comments. I do like to see what people think of what I've made. I'm not on my own in that. It's something all crafters like. If there's a way you think that I could alter it up and make it different, as long as it's positive criticism, I'm not adverse to that either. Needless to say, we're all here to learn and to share. So this will be up for grabs. All you need to do is the usual, count me in below the video, please. And I will then draw that Friday week. I don't know what the date will be by then, but I will, as always, write it on my little jotter here, and we'll go forward from there. And the draw will take place at that point, hopefully before all the Christmas packaging and all that kind of thing kicks into overdrive and things start taking longer than usual to get through. So thank you as always for sharing this time with me. I hope it's been inspirational to you as always. And again, happy crafting everyone. Take care. Bye bye for now.